And good evening, everybody, and welcome here to NNSCRA Season 8 Oreo Truck Series All-Star Race Qualifying. This is going to be the qualifying session for the drivers that are currently locked into this season's All-Star Race event. And we already have a driver off track, so why don't we jump to it right now? I believe that's Joshua Michaels. This is going to be maybe one of the smallest All-Star Race fields that we've had in Oreo Truck Series competition, based on the fact that we only had a total of 5 Truck Series races this entire season so far. Those coming at, I believe that I remember them completely correctly, they were at Daytona, then we went to the Midsummer Classic at Eldora, then we ended up having the race at Atlanta, and I'm trying to remember where the other ones were. One was at Talladega, and the other one was at Charlotte. And aside from those 5 races, those are the only 5 races we've had this season. So we've only had 5 winners so far this season in Season 8. Just about everybody else that's going to be in this All-Star Race field are drivers that have won back in Season 7 after the Season 7 All-Star Race, which wasn't here at FTF Superspeedway. This is the first time that we were actually having the All-Star Race weekend here at FTF Superspeedway. And right now we're looking at Joshua Michaels. Michaels is locked into this All-Star Race due to a win he had last season at Watkins Glen, and ironically, he's back in the very same ride he won at the Glen at. They had to obviously overhaul and put a restrictor plate setup in there rather than a road course setup, but we'll see what his first time lap is going to be here. All these drivers are going to start where they qualify, and then there'll be a couple of drivers that will start at the rear of the field. Those will be the drivers that finish first and second in the Oreo Open, and then the fan vote winner as well, as Joshua Michaels' first time lap's a 146.947. He'll definitely beat that, but while he continues around the track, let's try and find some more drivers in this field to talk about. Austin LaPlante is back in the 6th. LaPlante, if I remember correctly, the last time he drove this number 6 machine, he actually made the chase. But LaPlante is in the 6th here tonight, and Austin LaPlante gets into this race via a win at Daytona last season. So he knows how to win at restrictor plate tracks, and this is a restrictor plate track at FTF, so we'll see how he does. Coming off track is Isaac Canepa, and for some reason up there I put an S instead of an A. Isaac Caneps. Well, that's not his name. But anyway, Isaac Canepa ended up winning in his rookie season last season when he drove the number 14. And that win just barely vested, if I remember correctly, just over Sean Galligan. And Canepa's win was at Charlotte. So he was just bypassed by a 2-car tandem consisting of Luis Hernandez, who ended up winning at Thornton last season. He's back in a 1-race deal here in the All-Star Race, and Kyle Matthews, our winner from the Midsummer Classic at Eldora back at the beginning of the season, and also he was also a winner at Rockingham, UK back in Season 7 was Kyle Matthews. So for 2 races he is locked into this All-Star Race event. Caleb Farrell, he's the most recent winner in Truck Series competition to go to victory lane, as he ended up winning, of course, at Charlotte. It was his first career NNSCRA victory, and it locks him into his very first career NNSCRA All-Star event. And Caleb Farrell running the same paint scheme and everything that he ended up putting in victory lane back at Charlotte. We'll see if maybe Caleb Farrell can work a little rookie magic. I don't remember very often a rookie winning the All-Star Race. Not very often. It's usually veterans that have won them. And we'll see if it's going to be the case here at FTF when we get to our points pain, or not points pain, but to our main events, the 3 All-Star races for the 3 series. Luke Walker is another driver who won this season. He won the Talladega race. And again, like I said about Austin LaPlante getting in via a win at a restrictor plate track, same deal can apply for Luke Walker. You gotta think that it's gonna kind of make drivers look at these other drivers that have won restrictor plate tracks and say, hey, they're gonna be my main source of competition. But Luke Walker, Talladega Superspeedway winner this season, would love to win the All-Star race in that 38 car. Here's quite a few drivers, quite a few veterans, and quite a few champions peppered in this 3-car tandem. Sean Galligan, former Mobile Cup Series champion. He gets into this race due to a win last season at Texas. The defending champion, Dylan Poteet, and winner from Daytona earlier on this season, also gets in due to a win last season at Velton's Arena, that very short kidney bean-shaped dirt track. And right behind him, a former Snickers Cup Series champion in Charles Jackson, who gets into this All-Star race due to a win he had last season at Atlanta. And I've got to think this is where the speed's going to be at here for this qualifying session, as they're coming up here on Luke Walker, so they'll make it a 4-truck tandem. And you want a tandem race here, if you can, to have the best lap possible. Prudence Littlejohn back in a Toyota, but not the number 20, because her team owner, John Cittadino, is currently running that 20 full-time here in Season 8, and Cittadino will be trying to qualify that Home Depot Toyota into the Oreo Truck Series All-Star Race via the Oreo Open later on. But Prudence Littlejohn in the number 15 Blue Def Peak Motor Oil Toyota. Prudence Littlejohn had a win at the road course of Lime Rock last season, and it's nice to see her back in an Oreo Truck Series ride. There's some more tandeming going on. Cody Lamas, former winner this season at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And right behind him is Kyle Corbett, back in a one-race deal, driving the number 56 Monster Energy Toyota. Corbett was a 2-time winner last season. He won at Kansas, and he won the season finale here at FTF Superspeedway. So he knows how to win at this track. That's going to put him, I would think, way up above all the other drivers, one step up on them, because he knows how to win here. And he's the only driver in NNSCRA Oreo Truck Series history that has a victory at this track. So will that be a key factor into this? I don't know. Right now, Cody Lamas is second fastest. Where's Corbett? He's the pole sitter. Right now, Corbett would start on the pole. I'm telling you what, things are really looking like they could all drift into the 56's direction, but as I said, it's the All-Star race. No points. Driver's going to be crazy. It's Eric Burton. Burton is back in a one-race deal. As a matter of fact, he's driving a ride that I believe he ended up driving in season... Did he drive it last season? I think he actually did. Yeah, he ended up winning that car at Pocono. So he's back in a ride he's very familiar with. That's a ride out of Stewart House Racing. Same team that puts together the 39 and the 14. And Eric Burton actually is the pole sitter now, with a 136.320. So Burton would start on the pole for the All-Star race the way things are running right now, but there's still a little bit more than 6 minutes to go in this qualifying session. Bob Jones on track. Bob Jones is actually one of the few drivers, with the possible exception of Charles Jackson and Matthew Daly, that had a win last season, was locked into this All-Star race, and is running in a full-time ride here in Season 8. Most of the other drivers are in one-race deals that had wins back in Season 7. But Jones is not one of them. He is here back in his number 11 that he's been running all season. Right now, 15th fastest on track as he's trying to find himself some drafting partners. But Bob Jones had a win last season at Champs-Élysées, which got him into this season's All-Star race. There's a couple of females who are making one-race deal returns to the Oreo Truck Series. Haruhi Toshimi, who had a win last season. Actually, it was a 2-time winner last season, but one win came before the Season 7 All-Star race. The one that didn't was at Talladega Superspeedway, the next to last race of the season. So Toshimi back in the number 98, which has featured a number of drivers that she's friends with, including Kenny McCrory, Max Russell, and Anthony McCrory. And Leia Walker is actually pulling off the pit road in the 99. Walker's 15th fastest on track right now. Leia Walker, if I remember correctly, actually did drive that 99 at one point. trying to remember what car she actually won in last season, or when last season came at Homestead Miami Speedway. It could have been that 99 that she drove. She might be back in the same team that she was with back in Season 7. Bob Jones is on pit road. Jamie DeFelu. And I don't know why I put the rookie thing still there, because the rookie thing shouldn't be there. But DeFelu was a former winner last season at Darlington, and he's back in a one-race deal here. As a matter of fact, this is the first time we've seen DeFelu since Season 7. He's not running in any other series at the current moment that are NSCRA sanctioned, and nice to see him back. He's 19th fast on track. We'll see how he does in his NSCRA return. So we got ourselves a nice pack of trucks right here, including Isaac Canepa, Joshua Michaels, Kyle Matthews, Luis Hernandez. There's Matthew Daly. I was wondering where he was, because we got to talk about him. Matthew Daly has not gone to victory lane yet this season, but he did go to victory lane at Indianapolis last season. And as I recall, Matthew's actually doing really well in the point standings here this season, too. He's been very consistent. Love to be able to go to victory lane if he can. I believe we may have gone through the entire field here. And that is your current pole sitter right now. Charles Jackson with a 135.618 is currently the fastest on track with just a little less than 3.5 minutes remaining. So could Charles Jackson start on the pole? Charles Jackson actually has good numbers here during the All-Star race weekend. I remember one point when we were back, I believe it was at NNSCRA Superspeedway, and Charles Jackson, it was either Charles Jackson or his alter ego Jack Richards, one or the other, ended up not being locked into any of the All-Star races, Mobile, Snickers, or Oreo. He ended up winning the Oreo Open. That got him into the Oreo All-Star race, and then he ended up winning the Mobile Open, which got him into the Mobile Cup Series All-Star race. And I think he got in the Snickers Cup Series race via the fan vote. So Charles Jackson, a driver who had no entries into the All-Star races at all for that season, and I cannot remember off the top of my head what season that was exactly. I apologize for that. It could have been Season 4. But he ended up making all 3 All-Star race events. So Charles Jackson has good numbers when it comes to the All-Star races. There's no doubt about that, as this time his lap was about a second slower. But he still is on the pole position. Let's actually look at the top 10. Let's bring it up and see who's actually where. Charles Jackson and Dylan Poteet, his teammates. So it would be a Turner Motorsports front row right now as things stand, with Jackson and Poteet. Then Luke Walker would be third. Fourth would be Sean Galligan, and the highest starting rookie would be Caleb Farrell in fifth. Prudence Littlejohn is sixth. Eric Burton seventh. Kyle Corbett is in eighth. Then it's Matthew Daly ninth, and Joshua Michaels, who was the first car on track, is currently 10th fastest. So can anybody make a challenge on Charles Jackson for the pole? The only one I could think of that could be these guys. All 4 of these drivers are running inside the top 5, second, third, fourth, and fifth. And they've got just a little over a minute to finish up this lap, and they got to hope and pray it's going to be faster than Charles Jackson's lap of 135.61. Dylan Poteet's next closest with a 135.62. He's 1/100th of a second slower than Charles Jackson's fastest lap. Can he do something here? They're coming down here to the start-finish line, and there's going to be about 40 seconds remaining, so this will probably be their last timed lap. Do or die time. Will someone take the pole away from Charles Jackson? Yes, Caleb Farrell just did it. He just took the pole. Luke Walker jumped to second. So Farrell will start on the pole position, a 133.723. Luke Walker was 5/1000ths of a second slower with a .728. And I think more than likely that's going to do it, unless, because they crossed the start-finish line, NSCRA is going to let them come around and finish yet another timed lap. So Jackson just went from the pole to 5th, and they bested his lap time, his best lap, by 2 full seconds. And apparently they are going to give an extra minute and a half or so for these drivers that had already crossed our finish line and start another timed lap. to be able to come back around and finish up this lap. Doesn't look like they're in quite as tight a draft as they were the last time. The last time they were really tight, and that's why they cut it down by 2 full seconds. But then again, you never know. But Caleb Farrell, what a rookie season he's having. I mean, for heaven's sakes, he's running well in the point standings. He's got a win, which came at Charlotte. And now, looks like he's en route to starting on the pole in his very first Oreo Truck Series All-Star Race event. Let's see what happens if they cross the stripe and run any better lap this time. Any changes? Doesn't look like it. So I would say that this qualifying session is practically over. We'll let them run it out. But I think this is the way it's actually going to look for the qualifying session here tonight at FTF Superspeedway. So Caleb Farrell will start on the pole, the only rookie right now locked into the All-Star race. And we just had a change there. I don't really know where it was. It must have been down just outside of the top 10. Oh yeah, someone just jumped up into the top 10. It was Cody Lamas. He just jumped up to 6th fastest. So he'll start 6th. And that dropped Joshua Michaels out of the top 10. So as you take a look at the way everybody finished, Jamie DeFalu is not a rookie, so ignore the R after his name. Caleb Farrell, the only rookie right now locked into this All-Star race, is going to start on the pole with all the veterans behind him. What's going to happen in that All-Star race? Can't wait to find out. Dylan Pote will be joining me in the booth for that, of course, as well as the Mobile and Snickers Cup Series All-Star races, but we still got Mobile and Snickers Cup Series qualifying for those All-Star races to see who's going to start on the front row for those 2 events. So hopefully you enjoyed this. We continue on All-Star Race Weekend here on the NNSCRA Sports Channel, offline racing at its best.